Hi, I'm Chris. After suffering from ME/CFS for 6 years, I fully recovered. I created this healing program to guide and support you on your healing journey from ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID, and related syndromes. If you haven't watched the previous videos in this series, I recommend starting from the beginning, as each video builds on the last. You can find them for free on my website at healing-space.online. In the previous two videos, we acknowledged the limits of modern medicine and the importance of the mind-body connection. This connection demonstrates how deeply our thoughts, emotions, and physical health are intertwined. In this video, we'll discuss why a single trigger alone doesn't explain why conditions like ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, or long COVID develop. We need to acknowledge that there is no single trigger that accounts for why we develop and remain stuck in these invisible chronic illnesses for months or even years. Instead, these illnesses are complex and develop over time, influenced by a combination of multiple factors. It's tempting to believe that focusing solely on the initial event that seemed to start it all, whether it's a virus, infection, injury, or exposure to chemicals, will be enough to cure us. However, the reality is that focusing only on the trigger will likely not lead to recovery. The initial trigger alone doesn't account for why we continue to experience persistent symptoms like fatigue, widespread pain, and difficulty breathing even long after the event has passed. This is also why so many of our medical tests often come back with normal or inconclusive results. These conditions are not caused by one single identifiable factor that can be easily detected through testing. Instead, they develop from a combination of influences that build up over time. These include our genetics, our conditioning, the stressors we face, and our habitual ways of reacting to those stressors. This interplay of physical, mental, and emotional factors make it difficult to pinpoint a single cause, which is why focusing solely on the trigger doesn't solve the problem. It's also important to realize that many people have been exposed to the same virus, infection, injury, or chemical exposure, but didn't develop chronic illness like ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, or long COVID. They may have similar genetic backgrounds, go through the same emotional stress, or experience similar health challenges, but they don't end up with these long-term conditions. This shows us that while the trigger may have set off the illness, it's not the sole explanation for why it develops and persists. It's understandable that some of us might still feel convinced that the trigger alone caused our illness, especially if we can clearly remember a specific event, a viral infection, a surgery, an accident, or a highly stressful experience that seemed to mark the beginning of our symptoms. But the truth is, the trigger alone doesn't fully explain why we develop these conditions or why they last for such a long time. To better understand this, it can be helpful to ask why others who experience the same or similar triggers didn't end up with the same chronic illness. For instance, it's estimated that about 44% of the global population has been infected with the coronavirus. Yet most people did not develop long COVID. Similarly, many people have had infections like the Epstein-Barr virus, the herpes virus, or Lyme disease, but did not develop ME/CFS. And others have undergone surgeries, experienced accidents, or faced emotional trauma, but did not end up with fibromyalgia. So why did we develop these illnesses when others did not? The key thing to understand is that this is not your fault. As we will explore later, the factors contributing to these illnesses often operate beyond our awareness. The causes of these stress-related illnesses are complex and involve a combination of factors rather than just one event. Whatever your specific trigger was, it was simply the last straw, the final event that pushed your body beyond its capacity to cope. The real issue lies not just in the trigger, but in the overall burden that your system has been carrying for some time, made up of physical, emotional, and mental stresses that have accumulated and overwhelmed your body. Acknowledging that a single trigger does not explain these illnesses is crucial if we want to move towards healing. It shows us that these conditions are not simply about the initial trigger. There are multiple layers that have contributed to the development of the illness, and acknowledging this can help us take a more holistic approach to recovery. By addressing the full range of factors that have built up over time, we can begin to move forward on the path to healing. Lastly, we need to recognize that stress plays a major role in the development and persistence of ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, and long COVID. In the next video, we'll explore this connection further. If you'd like to continue, you can watch the complete introductory video series for free on my website at healing-space.online. This video series is designed to support you in healing from ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID, and related syndromes. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and follow. Thank you, and see you in the next video.